My name is Carly Scott. I am a fourth-year PhD candidate in the College of Natural Sciences here. More specifically, I'm in the Maths lab in the Integrative Biology department, and I'm really focused on studying coral biology and evolution and how we can use genetics and genomic tools to really get at the processes going on under the hood in coral biology. So humans have a massive impact on biodiversity worldwide, and coral reefs harbor more biodiversity than any other marine environment. Moving back from the environmental aspect, there's also a structural aspect to the reef, and in a lot of coastal communities that these structures actually protect the shoreline from storm surges, hurricanes, and other large weather patterns that move across the sea. Coral reefs are a multi-million-dollar industry in the United States every year. $300 million is NOAA's assessment of the reefs between tourism, fishing, and these other industries that depend on them. And you can imagine that worldwide, in nations that culturally depend on the reefs, whose histories are really intertwined with fishing and the marine ecosystem, these reefs are even more valuable and more important as you start to move into these tropical nations. One of the things we're interested in as coral biologists is how do coral reefs respond to environmental changes? What can we expect corals to do? So we can expect corals to sort of shift even today to maybe do better in this new warmer climate. Well, one way to make those predictions better is to look at how they've done it in the past. So just because climate change now is happening at an extremely rapid pace and threatening biodiversity, the climate has changed before. There's been massive environmental events, ice ages, and all these other things somewhat recently, within the last 15,000 years. So can we look into the past of coral reefs to see how they've dealt with previous warming periods? So my biggest finding while I've been here is that we can recover ancient DNA from coral reefs. Corals don't live forever, and so even throughout time, the last 10,000 years, these corals kind of grow on top of each other's skeletons. And so what that makes is a really good record of how things are on the reef throughout time. If I look down through the reef, like a tree core, or I guess if you're familiar with archaeology, how there's different things buried in different layers, I can also look at the different coral skeletons that are buried in different layers on the reef. How are the genetics of these corals different 6,000 years ago to today? Were they really well equipped to the past environment and something new and different is happening in this current environment? Or did something happen that made them poorly equipped to handle this change? Why do corals bleach? Why do corals have symbionts? Why do we see these somewhat unexpected patterns in nature? And is this something that happened because evolution is messy and it just was by chance? Or is this like an opportune thing? And are we shifting something that's been stable basically from our perspective forever?